Alright, and so now we're going to talk about, some people are wondering, where do I go and get a semi-auto rifle at in this day and age? Well, I'm going to be honest with you, that ship has sailed. And pretty much you can't hardly find anything like that anymore. However, there are some exceptions. Enter the Bubba SKS. The reason why it's called Bubba is because some guy, probably named Bubba, went and took the original wood stock off this thing and put a black plastic stock on it. Which, you know, it hurts the collector's value, but it still is probably going to work the same way. We don't have a whole lot of ammo out here today, but we do got this cool little old, something to go with this. Now, these things were very commonly used in the Vietnam War. Of course, they would have had the wood stock and a 10-round magazine. And so, we got ourselves a Vietnam helmet, the old brain bucket. So, let's try a few shots of this thing. You got to have this bolt open to put this magazine in. Now, you definitely want to be sure you're pointing these things in a safe direction whenever you're loading an SKS. Why, you may ask? Well, because I have went and loaded this before and had it go off whenever I put it in the battery. So let's try it. Okay, it didn't go off. Whew. Alrighty, hit a few clays over here. Oh, that shoots pretty good. Let's try some longer range targets. Let's go to the longer range gong over here that I can barely see. Yeah, I can barely see that thing. That's a hit. So there's 3. Like just high. Hit it. When in doubt, we can always fix bayonet and slowly charge forward, taking the ground. Die! Yeah! Oh. Alright, so I don't know a whole lot of the history of these things. I know they were invented by the Russians, actually during World War II. Contrary to popular belief, they were invented during the last days of World War II, I think in 1945. And they saw extremely limited use, if any at all. I'm not really sure, but I have actually read that there was some limited use at the end of World War II. So this was the replacement for the Mosin Nagant. And it eventually got replaced by the AK. So, the AK came along, like I said before, in 1940. They started development in 47, and I think it was like 49 or so before they started actually pumping them out. But that meant that this thing's service life was only like, well, less than 10 years old. And they made a lot of them. Like the Russians made a lot of these, and so did the Chinese. Well, now they don't really need them as much because they've got all these other little comm block states coming up. You know, like Serbia, Yugoslavia, just all these little hot spots popping up all over the place that are becoming communist countries who are needing weapons, they're not going to give them their best AKs, but they do have a lot of these SKSs that they give them. Not like this, of course. They would have had a 10-round magazine and a wooden stock. There was one little country that they gave these to that used them quite a bit, and that would have been Vietnam. And they were used a lot in Vietnam, probably as much, if not more, than the AK, just because there was, like I said, there was a lot of them made. And they are still being used in the world today in certain hot spots like Syria, all these little Middle Eastern countries. They still got these things floating around, and they're still using them, and they're still running. So, and this one is a Norinco Chinese one. Now, we bought this one, it was like this. We bought this one for my dad here, it was right after the Sandy Hook deal, and I think I paid about $150 for it. So, yeah, it was a pretty good price for the old rifle. And nowadays they've kind of shot up in price, and I really don't know why, because, well, I mean, now I understand why, but even before all this, they were more expensive for one of these plastic stocked unoriginal SKSs than a Palmetto State Armory AR-15, which is just odd to me. Okay, enough of my talking. Let's do some more shooting here. Let me put my 5.56 earplugs in. I need to clean up some more of these clays here on the side of the hill. So, let's see here. We should be loaded and on safe. Let's go ahead and switch selector to fire and watch your lane. I'm gonna do a little rapid fire here. Funny, because this thing's actually a pretty good pointer. I was literally just sitting there and kind of just pointing at it, not really aiming. But yeah, that's the Norinco SKS. Kind of a cool little rifle. If you can get a hold of one, and this is all you can get, it's a whole lot better than nothing. Thank you for watching.